Hello friends, welcome back or welcome if you are new here. I am Sen and this is my little place on YouTube for everything cross stitch. So today is Monday the 13th of October and it is time for a weekly stitchy update. I do have some sneaky things today because apparently I did forget to show you a finish and a new start that snuck in sometime not even last week, I think the week before that. So we will add that to the mix of updates in a bit. I hope all of you are well. I am possibly coming down with a cold, so if I sound a little bit funny and if I'm gonna sound even more funny next week, you will know why. But otherwise everything's fine. I've had a busy week as always, and yeah, I did get quite a bit of stitching done, so not as much as I was hoping, at least not in regards of finishes, but I'm gonna make some, well, adjustments possibly. I have a little ideas here and there that I'll get into in plans later, but for now let's start with what all of you are here for, the stitchy updates. And just as I was gonna change camera, we get our little stitchy buddy here coming along and saying hi, just jumping on me as usual. So let's move to the desk and see what we worked on, shall we? All right, so let's start with the sneaky new start, and this is not from last week. This is from I think 2 weeks prior even, and I just put it in a drawer and forgot about it because it doesn't have a project bag or anything. So some of you have probably seen this before. This is Poisonous Plants by the Witchy Stitcher, and I do not have a picture printed out of this, but again, you probably know what it looks like. It's a quite popular one. And yeah, this had one evening of stitching. It's just on some plain 14 count black Ada, and yeah, I have one of the plants done, and I have the writing for the little mushroom that's gonna be over here done, and this was really enjoyable. I do not know why I just put it in a drawer and didn't touch it again ever since, but this will definitely get some more love, hopefully sooner rather than later. It was a pretty spontaneous start, but yeah, that is where this one is at. Again, you haven't seen it before. Sneaky new start. And next we have our sneaky finish, because I just realized I never showed you the finish of this one. Because I just went through my videos, like my previous updates, and I saw, okay, I had like the almost finished one on my cover image for one of my last Flosstube videos. And I was like, did I just put in the wrong image in that instead of the finish? Because that was like on a date where it should have been finished. Or like the day when I think that was the day that I was finishing it, the last day of the month and of last month, because this is this month Patreon chart. So it is all finished now. It's not an FFO, but it is finished. This is what this one looks like. And you can get this on my Patreon for this month. As always, link will be down in the description. So you'll probably see like what I showed you last, and I think I just had like the bottom part that needed to be filled out, like these 2 leaves and all of the pumpkins. But now this can go in the finished drawer because now I've shown you. And now we will go to the actual whips of last week. So next one I worked on is the Acorn Catcher. I had been thinking about possibly finishing it last week, but yeah, that did not happen. As you can see, it's still a work in progress, although it is coming up close to a finish. And this is what made me consider like my model stitching in the future. Again, like I said, I'm still going with the idea of opening a Discord server to look for model stitchers and everything, apart from, you know, having a community online to chat with. And like the time it takes me to stitch my models made me think that, yeah, I'm probably gonna go back to putting my patterns up on my Etsy even when the models aren't finished, but like just with the mock-up. But I will still stitch models or have models stitched, and then just change the picture of the listing whenever the model is finished. Otherwise, I'll never get anything up in my shop, and I have so many more designs that I want to make. And if I always wait until I have like one model finished, then some get forgotten and some never see the light of day, and I think that's a little bit sad. So but yeah, this is where Acorn Catcher is at. Hopefully gonna be a finish soon, but even not finished yet, this will go up in my shop probably sometime this week. Hopefully today, but we will see. I have so much to do, and a lot of things always just fall under the table, and then until I remember them again, and then I'm like, oh, I wanted to do that last week. So yeah. Next one I worked on is my baby forest dragon. This is where it is at the moment. I did work in a few more stitches in here and up here, and also quite a bit of black up here, and all of this green here. Just working in a few strands. I think it got probably about 1,000 stitches in. And I am a little bit on the fence with this one. You can probably already see it here that the black is quite see-through. And if I hold it closer, actually looks better on camera, I think, than it does in real life. But it is a little bit... You can see the fabric a little bit through here, which I personally do not like that much. I mean, in some spaces it's okay, but in other places where the thread gets a bit thinner, you can definitely see the fabric through it. And I'm telling myself it's fine because this is supposed to be a tree, so you know, it's natural, right? But I'm gonna stitch a bit more on it and see how it goes. And I was like, even if you hold it further away, you can still see it. So I think I'm just gonna be like, with this one, do the trust the process kind of situation, and yeah, see how it goes and not worry too much about it. Like, the complete picture is probably gonna look really great, and then it won't matter that the black is a little bit see-through. So that is this one. Also, because I forgot again, this is what it will look like when it is finished. So I'm just up here, and this is where it's a little bit, well, we'll see. We will see. Next one is my Friday stitch, which also got quite a bit work done this week. And here is something different that I've started doing. I have been trying out the, I think they call it a typewriter method. And I'm actually not sure who originally came up with it. So if you know, please tell me down in the comments, because I want to give credit to the person that did. And yeah, I did that up in the top here, as you can see. Starting here where I left off with the Royal Rose, and I moved my way across, working in some stitches here and over here, all the way down. And I think the way you're supposed to do it is you choose the next thread to work with like whatever is next, like whatever symbol is next on the topmost row, and then just work in the thread and then choose the next one. And I think it works great with this one because it doesn't have too many colors, so you really can just like, for the most part, you see that it did not work here because this is where the second hand is, and that color is a bit darker than this. All of this is background. So but yeah, that is where this one is at. It got also about 1,000 stitches, I believe, probably a little bit more. And I really enjoy this method of stitching. I also did enjoy the Royal Rose method, where you like stitch in 10 by 20 columns, but I have had a lot of issue with getting these like block lines, which you can probably see here. And while I still think it's okay-ish and hopefully will, you know, get resolved a little bit after it's washed and ironed and all that, I'm picky, you know, I'm a perfectionist. So if there's like any chance it's not gonna look good after I put like hours and hours and hours into a full coverage piece, then I'd rather, you know, go with something different, like choose a different method. So for now I will stick with this, and I have started doing this with some other full coverages, so we'll see in a moment with my other whips for the week. And I really enjoy it. It also feels faster, which is obviously a plus. You know, the faster I can get things done, the better. So yeah, that is this one. And before I forget again, unless you have not seen it, this is what this one will look like when it is finished. Also one of my own patterns, and that is available in my Etsy shop if you like it. But that is this one. Let's move on to the next. So the next one I worked on is another one of my dragons. And this is where this one is at. And as you can probably see, I did the same thing here. I had this part done and I was working in the blue, and I put all of the blues in, like almost all of it, I believe. I'm gonna put like a before and after here somewhere to the side. Let me get this a little closer. So second and third page coming in nicely with this. This is the first page that was done before. And I'm looking to work like all of these parked threads in. It's not too many. I might leave the ones down here that are in the bobbin, but I definitely want to work these ones in. And then just continue with the typewriter situation with this one. Also about 1,000 stitches done last week on this one. And this is what it will look like now. Oh, this is what it will look like finished, not now. This is what it looks like now. So this is what it will look like finished. It's a little bit funny to me that the blues look so different than they do in the cover picture, because like on the chart itself, they also look like this. And I think it's gonna be fine overall. But on the cover picture, it looks like more it's going like light into dark, as it should. But here it is like light into dark into light. So I don't mind it. I still think it looks good. And I know, like, I've not seen a single chart, no matter who made it, where it looked exactly like the cover picture. I don't know. But I also do not like everything's obviously charted for DMC, and I use CXC, and while I personally think that they are almost exactly the same colors, at least those that I have compared, they might sometimes be different. But again, I don't mind. I think it looks great. And it's like with this the empty parts where this little green floaty gemstone is gonna come in. This as well, trust the process, right? Next up, I pulled out this one again because it is so close to a finish. I gave it another, I think around 500, 600 stitches. And filled in a good chunk of the background here that was still open. And all I still have to do to get this done is the rest of the background here. I think it's just this purple left that I need to fill in, all between like the light purple and the white here, and then all of the black down here in his coat. And then this one will be done. I do not know when I will do it, whenever I feel like it, but it is really close to a finish. So I should not keep it too long. I'll probably keep it out for this week and see if I can maybe get it finished. I think it has around 700-ish stitches left. So should be doable. And then this one will be done. Next, and this is the last one I worked on, that was yesterday's stitching. And I finally cut the fabric. So this is the width. It is tiny and intricate, but it's gonna be long. But I haven't cut the fabric like in the bottom yet. This one as well, I have started doing, how do I put this best? I think this one's like this, it's fine. I've started doing the typewriter method, as you can see, moving all the way across to the edge of the pattern. It's a little bit hard to see because there are stitches in here, but they are a very light color, you can see. Apart from like obviously some of the dark. And now I am working on getting all of these threads worked in. This also got almost 1,000 stitches done. This is a lot of counting on these very tiny stitches. And then here is the outline of her head coming in the middle, and all of this is obviously the frame going around. I do not have it printed out in big, but I can show you on the project bag because this has a little card. This is what it will look like when she is done. So this is not available anywhere as far as I know for now. And yeah, that's what this one's gonna be. Also something I'm probably gonna keep out for the week because I really want to get those threads worked in. But yeah, that's all I worked on. Whoa, camera. That is all I worked on for the week. So let's put her back in the bag. Just yeah, that is it for this week's updates. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I was working on. And yeah, let me know which one of this week is your favorite. I'm thinking about, well, I'm trying to bring out some older projects that you might not have seen in a while over these next few weeks leading up to Christmas, so I can get to touch a little bit more of my older whips as well that really do need some more love. So yeah, but I also do have my current favorites, of course, that I tend to work on quite a lot. So we'll see how that goes. And maybe it will work if I do like a little mix of doing like half of my favorites on some days and some of the older ones in between. Maybe I'll do like a how many 100 or 200 stitches again, because that was kind of fun, though I did it on a busy week, or like the week just surprised me with being more busy than I thought. So we'll see how that goes. I do not have any deadlines this week, so maybe it might be a good idea to do it this week. We'll see. We'll see. You will see it next week if you come back, which I hope you will. If you enjoyed, please do leave a like and subscribe. Leave me a comment down in the description below which one of the projects is your favorite. Also tell me what you've been stitching on while watching, if you have done so, because personally I stitch a lot while watching Flosstubes, or like I watch Flosstubes while I stitch. Both ways work. But yeah, that's all from me for this week. The Discord idea is still work in progress, and you might see some new patterns in my Etsy next week. I will definitely let you know. There's still some needle minders available, so if you want to go and check those out. As always, all the links are down in the description of all the patterns. If I know where to get them, if they're available somewhere, they will be down in the description below. So until then, my friends, have a great week and happy stitching!